So, Mark, did you see that close-up of Vegas Vic? He's down from his perch. I have no idea why. You get a really close look up of his face, and I don't know that he's ready for such a zoomed-in version.
I mean, I still love it. I love any of those old school signs and lights, neon lights and everything. I still think River Rick is better. What do you think?
I don't know. I got to get a close-up look of both of them. But those are perfect Fremont Street eyes. He's been out on the street for decades, and it shows.
He definitely looks high.
Talked a lot about Wynn and their earnings and their global expansion and everything that they're trying to do. And one of the casinos they're trying to build is in New York City on Hudson Yards, right off the High Line. What a cool location for it. And they released a video this week. They're still trying to get the license. New York is supposed to issue their licenses by the end of 2025. But this shows the entire development, $12 billion. The casino is only 3.6% of the square footage here. You're going to have hotels, apartments, a 5.6 acre park. This looks stunning.
Yeah, when I first saw the $12 billion, I was like, what? 12? Like, this is nuts. Massive casinos are, we're talking 4 billion, 5 billion, not 12. But I know it's New York City. You got all that, the cost there. Then you hear that it's such a small portion of the whole thing. They're going to have businesses in there, apartments, condos, all that type of stuff. And then a hotel too. So it's going to be really cool. It looks beautiful. It doesn't look at all like a casino. Like I wouldn't drive by that or see it and think, oh, I'm going to go gamble in there. And maybe signage will help with that. But it just looks like every other building in New York, which I'm sure they're shooting for, but kind of takes away from the fun of it a little bit.
Yeah, I think absolutely that's what they're shooting for. They want to get this approved. And so they want the neighbors to be on board with it. The casino would be on the second and third stories, so kind of hidden away. And as you say, there's going to be people living there, shopping there, 80-story building that would contain all of this. So Wynn, I think, is making a smart play here, and that location is cool. It's right off the High Line. One of my favorite areas of Manhattan to walk around, and that park looks like a great addition to it as well. So I think that they're trying to sweeten the pot with all the right stuff to get this casino, because that's the big moneymaker for them.
I love that area. It's such a cool little area. You walk around, tons of shops, restaurants, all that stuff. So, and the High Line's always fun, something unique. So it's cool to see. Kind of reminds me of the casino in Cleveland, how it's in, much smaller scale, of course, but how it's like in an old shopping center type of thing. Like I think it used to be an old Macy's, but not Macy's. And they built it into that, like connected to a mall. And when you're driving by, you don't really know, besides it saying casino here, you don't really know it's a casino. It's kind of built in to the old style buildings, fits in really well. The parallels are there a little bit.
Leave it up to Mark to compare Wynn's brand new New York City casino to a casino in Cleveland. I guess we'll just stop
Cleveland
there
rocks.
with with the analysis. So this next story is nuts, and I don't believe a word. I don't believe a word of it at all. But this person on Reddit, legal advice, basically saying that he walked back into his room after going out to breakfast, and the housekeeper was putting on his wife's makeup, and then he asked what to do. He said he was going to call the police, but it just rerouted to the hotel, and then they didn't deal with him. And first off, why are you calling the police for them using the makeup? And second off, I don't know. Do you believe any of this?
I could definitely see it happening. I don't know if this actual story is true, but I could see something like this happening. I'm sure maids and housekeepers and stuff try on people's clothes at times and touch things. Probably doesn't happen very often, but to say like it would no possibility. I mean, I didn't think there'd ever be like a mostly naked, big white guy with black feet on somebody's bed when they walked in, but we saw that. So you never know.
And it's all at the same place, too, the Dirty Castle. I mean, everything. Why would you stay anywhere else?
Yeah, I mean, it's just the entertainment rolls right in with you. But I would just tell her, like, hey, keep that lip gloss. That's your tip. I'm not going to leave you a tip now. Maybe the safe needs to go, or makeup needs to go from now on. I don't know.
Yeah. Has anybody ever caught a housekeeper doing something with their stuff in the room? Obviously not stealing stuff, but using your stuff. I guess the old wives' tale is that they use your toothbrush to clean the toilet, so you shouldn't ever leave your toothbrush out.
Yeah, and the other one is that they clean the glassware with Windex and stuff, so you shouldn't ever, and they don't take it down and get it washed a lot of times. They'll just, spray some Windex, wipe it down, or type of thing is one of the rumors, too. So don't use it unless it's wrapped in plastic cup type of thing.
Yeah, I've had that confirmed by a couple of people who worked in fancy hotels. So they do have Windex on their cart. They don't have a dishwasher. 1 + 1 = 2. Just think about that. Not all hotels. A lot of hotels have moved away from it, but certainly was a practice. All right, so let's talk about Mirage. Maybe a final update. Probably not a final update, but The theater is now being torn out, and we got some pictures, thanks to James for sending those in, of what's left of the theater. But also, the volcano's gone. It's basically a dirt lot now, too. We see that as well. The pain just keeps coming.
Yeah, I love when I sent these to Sean, he's like, "Is this the James that we talked about at the end of the last episode?" I said, "I don't know, it could be. I don't know." James has sent us some things about Mirage over the last couple of months, and we appreciate that. It would be really funny if it is the same James. I was laughing pretty hard when I read that, but yeah, it's stark to see, like expect it, especially the aerial view with the volcano completely gone. It just looks back to like the dirt patch that Vegas is, the desert type of thing. It's amazing how quickly it can go from green and lush and kind of tropical feeling to just a piece of dirt.
We also got to look at some of the trinkets from around Mirage, all wrapped up, ready to go to wherever they're going. The mermaids, the dolphins, some other statues that were around. We don't know where they're going. Originally, people thought they were going to the Neon Museum. They're not confirmed for that. So I don't know if they're selling them, if they're putting them into somebody's closet. Let's hope they find a new life somewhere. I don't know why you couldn't work these things back into Hard Rock some way.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. Similar to what we see with like new stadiums coming out, they build and they put a little piece of the old stadium in there or something, a throwback to it. I think Hard Rock could do something like that. And maybe they will with other pieces they had. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if they tie anything into it.
I have a nice spot for one of them in my garden. If you want to throw a mermaid my way, I'll even take a dolphin, anything, Hard Rock, reach out. Let's move downtown to El Cortez, Mark. And they announced earlier this year a $20 million renovation, which includes an expansion of their casino, 6,000 more square feet of casino space, also renovating 2 bars, a new Starbucks, other stuff like that. Well, we got some renderings thanks to Travel Ruby. I don't know if they released these. They didn't send them to us, but she put them up there. We get to see the roulette bar, which is sort of interesting. Their second bar, which has that 10 by 20 black and white screen, such a strange theme to have at a bar. But this is El Cortez, and these renderings look very El Cortez-y.
I like that. I like that bar. Yeah, I like the renderings, the screen. I don't know if they're gonna play like old black and white movies on it or what, but it kind of just fits in with El Cortez. You think old, like that's what I always think of it, like old school. They can't fix the ceilings, unfortunately, and they're very tight in there. So that's the downfall of El Cortez, at least for me personally. But I think all this looks cool. The roulette bar looks cool, but I really did like the screen there in the middle. You don't diss it, man. Come on.
I'm not. It just is strange. It was strange when they described it, and now it's strange when I see it with the black and white movies. They are going to show sports there during games and stuff like that, so it will be more of a modern use as well. We also get a look at their noodle spot, Hot Nudes by Chinglish, an awesome name, if I dare say so myself. So this is just a lot more of El Cortez being itself, kind of diving into that modern El Cortez brand that they said, the nostalgia, cleaning it up, making it a little bit nicer. It's never going to be the fanciest, coolest place, but I do like this and can't wait to see it. Like I said, it's just very El Cortez. I don't know what I was expecting different than that, but they know what they are and they're sticking to it.
Yeah, I love that they stayed kind of in touch with what they have, their color scheme, all that stuff. They didn't try to make it the modern light, airy type of feel that every other casino is going for these days on the strip. So I think that's good. And we've talked about South Point and how they stay true to what they are, and that draws people in. And I think this is more of the same.
As a reminder, we have our Patreon. $5 a month gets you access to the weekly after show, lots of behind the channel, Vegas talks, laughing, stories, all of that good stuff. Patreon.com/MTM Vegas for all the info. And thanks to everybody who supports us over there. So let's dive into the comments for a second and a couple of follow-ups. And that actually led me to some other stories as well. But one comment from Young333G says they paid $35 for late checkout at Park MGM, and then their bill showed a $4.95 TV tax for late checkout. So I'm guessing that they got taxed on the late checkout amount, like a room rate tax. Yeah, there you go, TV tax from MGM. We still don't know about the phone fee. I have not been able to confirm that. Some people say they've been charged it. MGM doesn't officially have this fee, so I do want to put that out there. But yeah, TV tax.
Yeah, I think that's the craziest, most over-the-top tax. And I know it was only a couple bucks, but a TV tax is just so bizarre to me. And I think somebody even said Caesars has been charging the phone tax too, but they don't do it daily. It's a one-time tax, and if you just say, like, the site wasn't working, they waive it and all that stuff. I'm sure you could probably get away with something similar with MGM if they do talk about charging the tax. Just say, hey, I tried to book this online, but it wasn't working. or whatever, and hopefully they waive it there. But yeah, the TV tech, you don't even know if you turned on the TV. Did you ever stay in a bad hotel or motel where they had the rental movies where you swiped your credit card like on the machine on the phone or whatever, like the Super 8s and stuff back in the day? Like, is that what we have next? We have to swipe our cards to turn on TVs?
Hey, in the UK, don't they all have a tax? They have to pay for the BBC, so they have to pay a TV license fee. So, yeah, we're getting there. I don't know. We're off topic here, but MGM, that tax is probably just the traditional tax you have on the room rate that they're adding on to the additional late checkout charge. That's why resort fees have taxes. We're going to tax you every way we can when you come here. The other comment that you wanted to highlight was somebody letting us know that Buffalo Bills, the log ride recently has been seen with water in it. I was able to find the video on YouTube showing just in the last few weeks that they're doing that. I have bad news for everybody. It probably isn't reopening. They've been testing both the coaster and the log flume for years, all the way since they closed in COVID. So they have to do this to keep them certified. I doubt they're going to open it at the end of the summer. They would have probably opened it earlier in the year, but it does give us hope that they may come back someday soon.
I'm curious, like, did they not make any money when they did have it open? Do they not think that would drive people out there? I think it would get a boost if they did get them up and running again, at least initially. Maybe it just costs too much to get those things rolling once again, maybe one of the two or something. But I know you drive out there. I'm sure quite a few other people would. Instead, they're throwing their hat in the ring for buffets, which I think is more likely to lose. I don't know.
And shout out to Boogmeister on YouTube. He's the one who got the video of the log flume. It is cool to see that. But let's talk about buffet. As when I was kind of trying to find this video of the log flume, I discovered their buffet that they're advertising. So this is the best buffet deal in town. I don't know, but it's Thursday to Sunday, and they have breakfast for $20, lunch for $25, dinner for $30 out at Buffalo Bills. And you have your mix of Italian, Mexican, American food. This, I'm sure, is not good. The buffets out there never have been, but here's a deal for you.
Hey, it's not Primm for trim. It's Primm for buffets.
So yeah, there you go, everybody. There's your buffet. Everybody's lost them, but they're out there in Primm, and cool to see the water. The coaster is testing. You may see pictures of that, but the last time it was open, as a reminder, was the summer of 2019. A glorious summer that I got to ride it 3 different times, Mark, and I do hope to get on Desperado again.
Hey, and then you could go get a buffet with a side of diarrhea.
Oh my God, you're terrible today. Or how about this one? You gonna trash this? New York has a new check-in desk, and I didn't know they were getting rid of the old one. But it's half the size, a quarter of the size.
It's so bad. I was like, wait. I couldn't decide if it was the check-in desk. I was like, oh no, this has got to be to buy like show tickets or something. When I'm looking at the picture, I'm like, this can't be their check-in desk. This is like the size of a Hampton Inn check-in desk with 200 rooms.
It's not clear. This comes from Jaybird Vegas that they've closed down the other one, but I guess that's the move they're doing. More people doing online check-in. But where are you going to put all the people? I still see people lining up everywhere else. So I haven't confirmed that the old desk is closed, but if this is the new desk and this is the future of Vegas where we have 5,000 rooms and 2 check-in agents and no room for anybody else, I don't want any part of that.
Yeah, let's hope that this is like an overflow desk or something, and then I think it's great if they're keeping the main desk running, and this is for weekends when it gets busy or secondary type of check-in. I think it would be great. But if this is like the full thing and they expect everybody to do it on their apps, which we know half the people coming there probably don't even have the app downloaded or anything like that, it's just going to be horrible.
So let's move on to the stats. We officially have the stats for July. And for the first time in a long time, the headline isn't good, although if you dig into the numbers, it's not as bad. But the big headline is a 15% drop in gaming revenue for Las Vegas Strip casinos. Now, of course, July 2023, the second busiest month ever. So we're coming down from that. It's still 1.3 billion for the statewide revenue. Still pretty good. But yeah, not all sunshines, lollipops, roses, and unicorns.
Yeah, and a lot, I mean, when you look at numbers like this, a lot of it depends on how the calendar falls, and that's the case for any business. In my old industry, we would get profit sharing checks and stuff, and we'd always look at like which months have extra days and which ones get stuck with more weekends because we were closed on weekends. So you're not making any money on those days. And it seems like this had less weekends than the year before and stuff like that, and those are big money days. So it's not surprising. Plus, you talked about it being the second biggest, month ever. So you don't expect it to stay up there necessarily. So I don't think it's a big deal.
Statewide revenue was down 6.91%. So obviously the Strip doing a little bit worse. They say that is because of 2 less weekend days and a bigger baccarat hold. So they lost more on baccarat than they normally do, which I guess that does happen from month to month, but still pretty good. And if you look at visitors in July of 2024, 3.512 million, so down 0.4%. Convention attendance was down a little bit. Average daily rate down less than 2%, but still holding. And if you look at the numbers from just a couple years ago, we're up significantly. This does not show a slowdown yet, but this is the first sort of big number drop that we've seen, and certainly 15%. We haven't seen anything like that in quite a while.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what next month brings. I think that'll tell a better story. You know, we have to see if it's a something that goes on for a couple months and we see it as a trend, or if this is just a one-off because it was going against such a big number last year. I'll be surprised if we see something similar over the next couple months.
Totally agree. One other thing to highlight is the balance of Clark County. If you look at the gaming revenue there, this year $171+ million, last year $143+ million, so a 19% increase, and that is the Durango effect. Durango didn't exist in that area before, and that shows you how well that's doing and adding to the overall revenues there.
I do wonder, like, how many more people, and maybe some of this is because of Durango, but we've talked about South Point, how popular it is. Like, how many more people are looking to get off the strip? We see it in the comments every week, like, all these taxes, all these fees, everything. I'm moving off strip. I'm going to more local properties. I wonder if we'll see more and more money pushed that way.
Yeah, interesting stuff. I agree. The house isn't burning down. It's really cool to put these headlines that revenue's down 15%. But when you dig into it, I could see people saying this could be the beginning of something else, of a backing off, but just doesn't really support that. So we'll see what we get through more numbers through the summer and how everything goes through the end of the year as we get into F1. We talked about how hotel rates are kind of soft for F1. We'll keep an eye on that story. But we had another story with hotel rates this week, and that's the Tropicana implosion. We finally got that date. October 9th at 2:30 a.m. So that's the Tuesday into Wednesday, the 8th into 9th at 2:30 a.m. The Tropicana will go down. There will be a ceremony before that. And we talked about Oyo's implosion promotion that they're doing. I looked at rooms at Oyo, and you can get a regular room for $100 for that night plus resort fee. Obviously not a view of what's going on, but you could still do that. MGM Grand, on the other hand, $1,500 for that night. Most MGM properties are sold out, so I feel like there's something else going on that I haven't figured out yet for those dates. But on the MGM side, the deal is with Excalibur, $239. Not too bad if you want to be in the area.
Still, I'd pay $100 for Oyo over $239 at Excalibur, but that's just me. They look like they're somewhat updated at Oyo too. The color scheme looks nice. I haven't actually looked at a room there in a while, and I haven't stayed there since it was Hooters, so I can't comment how dirty it is or blacklight knowledge on the inside. But I think it's cool that they're not like gouging people for that night, and I think that's about what we expected. I think we had guessed it was going to be the Tuesday going into Wednesday early morning, so maybe that is what all the rooms are booked up for. I doubt it, but who knows.
And as a reminder, it gets difficult to get into these areas, and it gets difficult to be able to get close and stuff. So staying at Oyo, you're going to have a reason to be there, so you should hopefully get a better view of stuff. We don't know how they're going to block off their property, but I imagine they're not going to just let anybody roam onto Oyo, go onto the garage, see this stuff. So if you want to be from their property, you probably need to be staying there, and it's just going to be a mess. So having a room close by, not having to drive in and out, that's the way to do it. Even though it is the middle of the night, we haven't had one of these of this scale in a long time, and the last one was on Convention Center Drive, a much smaller one. So I think that a lot of people are going to show up for this.
It's worth it even if you stay somewhere else. Like, let's say you go stay at Fontainebleau, get a room for one night for the $100, so you have, you know, somewhere to drop your stuff while this is going on, and or maybe take a nap before it all kicks off, or whatever you want to do. And you have that access if they do block it to only guests are allowed in certain areas and stuff like that. You have that key card. So I think it'd be $100 well spent.
Mark loves the Oyo, but he's telling you to stay at Fontainebleau and just get a burner room at Oyo. So that tells you what's going on there. But let us know what you guys think about anything we talked about. The implosion date, what's left of Mirage, the gaming stats, everything down. Is that a big deal? Vegas Vic's eyes. Oh, those eyes. Let us know in the comments. We do 2 shows a week, Tuesdays and Fridays, and we'll be back in a couple days with another show. Thanks so much for watching. Talk to you next time.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
I think, screens are the name of the day. Hot Nudes
What
by
the hell does the
Chinglish.
name of the day mean?
What did I say? Name of the day? Oh, the thing of the day. Like the screens are the name of the day, I said? Oh my God. Well, I'll just cut that part out.
Oh, come on. You got to put it at the end at least.